She's the co-creator and executive producer of the hit CBS comedy Two Broke Girls. She'll be taping her first HBO special and her third career hour-long comedy special, August 28th and 29th at the Broad Theater in Santa Monica. And she's very popular on Twitter as well, over 1.3 million followers on Twitter at Whitney Cummings. Here she is in studio. Thrilled to have you.
I'm also
Whitney
very
Cummings.
popular on Tinder. Why don't you mention that?
Didn't get that in the notes.
Okay, just
from
so
Chris
you all
Burns.
know.
That's odd that Burns would leave that note off of the.
No,
off
he's
of the
on
shooting.
Grindr.
Hey! You learn something new about your coworkers
Every day.
single day. We met at the Steve Tisch charity roast for the co-owner of the Giants a few years ago.
This was probably 5 years ago?
Yes.
6 years ago. I had never met you.
Correct.
This was before I was doing the roast on Comedy Central, like the year before. And it was, a charity roast hosted by Tom Arnold. And we had never met.
No,
and
we
I
had
was
not.
like, hi, nice to meet you. And then just started assailing you.
But that's what you do on a roast.
That's what you do on a roast. But I didn't really know that much about sports. I think Strahan was there.
Yes.
Tom Arnold was there. And I don't know if you know this, I told you backstage,
Yes.
but I pulled up my jokes from that night.
Do you have them with you right
I
now?
have some of them with me, but I need some support from the Chris's.
Yes.
What
To
support?
see if I should read them or
Full
not.
support. I was going to ask if you
100%.
remembered
Just do it.
This was 5 years ago. These are the jokes that I told the first night we met.
Yes.
And I was totally a fish out of water. I had no idea what I was. I mean,
But you crushed it.
It was
You were
all
great.
these athletes and stuff.
Right.
So it was.
Somewhat safe for work, though.
I'm going to make sure they're safe for work. I think that I
You can just
did.
censor yourself. That's fine.
Okay, so this was it was like a charity thing, and it was Steve Tisch and all these old Hollywood people,
Yep.
and Michael Strahan was there. There was this, it's all to raise all this money.
Al Michaels was there
Al
too.
Michaels was there. Okay, so my opening joke was there are so many old conservative Republicans in this room. During the live auction, someone tried to buy Michael Strahan.
That's a great opener. A great opener.
So I believe that's where we started.
We're off and running.
And let's go. This is a day as chock full of sports legends. I don't know a lot about sports, and I'm not going to get up here and pretend I do because Rich Eisen is here tonight, and no one pretends to know about sports better than he does. I think that might have been the only joke I did about you.
Yeah.
The next one was Tom Arnold. Tom's also a big sports fan, as a matter of fact. The whole time he was married to Roseanne, she was pitching and he was catching.
Now, I remember Steve Tisch was laughing because
Yeah.
nobody has a greater sense of humor than he does.
Yeah.
Few other people in the room were
We're
at this
pissed.
point.
Oh, it was awful. I mean, I'm like 25 years old. I'm like trying to get into Hollywood. It's all these people in the business, and I'm just burning bridges left and right.
Napalming them, quite
Pissing
frankly.
people off.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I had no idea.
You're 3 for 3. This is fantastic.
This is why I have to create my own shows, because no one will hire me because of this stupid night. Tom Arnold is hoping that after tonight, Steve Tisch will put him in a movie. At least that would give Al Michaels a second chance to yell, "Do you believe in miracles?" And then I go on and basically talk about how Tom Arnold is an idiot for like 5 more pages.
But he was the roast master that
He
night.
was the roast master.
And
yes.
And so, what the roast master needs to do is torch the joint so
Yes.
everybody else can fill in behind.
Yes.
But I recall things were running so late that night. He
Right.
basically got up and said, "Let's start."
Yeah.
And left it up to the other comedians to. You were just standing up there, and no one had really heard much.
No.
'Cause I think Al went first.
Okay, and he told like a story or something?
Yeah, he told a story because
Yeah.
Al, I don't think does the traditional
Roast
roasting.
jokes, yeah.
And then I think then you went up there.
I think next was Pete Berg.
Oh, okay. And he didn't work very blue either.
Well, no, he brought up 2, I believe, strippers who were dressed as Giants cheerleaders, right? Because there were no
Fantastic.
cheerleaders.
Oh, that's right.
Do you
And-
remember?
Yes, and I think the Mara family members in the room were so thrilled about that.
It was a disaster because also they couldn't read, and so he had written this thing out, and these 2 illiterate, beautiful women, but they were reading. It was bombing horribly. And I have a joke I can't tell you how I referred to it later, but then I think I
gosh.
went up after that.
Then you were the first. I do remember you were the first to work blue that night.
Yes.
In the room, which is not an easy thing to do.
Well, it's always you're taking a risk, but that's
Sure.
the deal. And in stand-up, it's like you gotta just the idea in a roast is to get people to be like, ugh, you know.
Sure. I'm here with Whitney Cummings on the Rich Eisen Show, and you, for Comedy Central, you roasted Trump, right?
Yep. Our new president.
Did he have a the next president of the United States? With the other one, David Hasselhoff, also the next president of the United States. So,
by the way, today's his birthday.
No.
Yeah.
Hasselhoff?
Really?
I heard that on the way in.
Why do you
today.
know that? You need to get off the internet. You know way too much stupid things.
Have you seen what's underneath this man's desk?
I
Do we
would
really
hope
wanna
an
go
erection.
What did she say? I missed it.
See, can I tell you something? No one wants to watch you check your email.
No,
what are you looking at?
I'm looking at how old the Hoff is.
No one cares.
63
Look
today.
up.
Yes,
I
thank
love
you.
watching the show. You guys are just like checking your Facebook. Say, look, I mean,
I'm always asking him, Whitney, what are you doing
he's
right now?
on RedTube.
We're working.
I don't think...
It's very simple.
I think DirecTV's firewall is a little stronger than that.
Oh, really?
Actually, it's
I
not.
don't know.
It's not. You almost got Whitney to spit take right there. Fantastic.
You did.
So, did Trump have a sense of humor?
Trump had a pretty good sense of humor. I mean, it's tricky with someone like Donald Trump because you think, oh, that's so easy, you
Right.
know, it's Donald Trump. But when someone's a super easy target, that actually makes it harder because all the comedians that did the hair jokes by the third comedian,
Yeah.
you know, so I got up there and I went a different angle. I went after like his mail order wives and I sort of went that angle, which I don't think he was expecting or appreciated, but that's the deal at a roast.
And then did you see him afterwards, or what do you do? Because I imagine, was that the first time you met Donald Trump?
That was the first time we met. Yeah, I don't hang out with Donald Trump. We would never cross paths. Yeah, he was fine about it. He laughed. He was getting paid a lot, and you know. Joan Rivers was my first one, though.
That must have been...
She was so awesome and so cool. Like, my opening joke for her was, Joan, I loved you in The Wrestler. And she was so as soon as she laughed at that, I knew she was game. So I went so hard on her.
Okay.
And then I think
because once you soften them up with the Mickey Rourke joke.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're in.
You're in.
We're in. Yeah.
Right. You can go in so many. It's multi-directional.
Yes, it's at that point. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's like, you know, I was watching golf, and it's kind of like golf. You go to this one, if that misses, you gotta, you know, you have to sort of be awake enough to see if you're hurting someone's feelings, and then act, of course, skip a joke if it's too harsh.
And also, you got to in roast, you got to hit it where it lies.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You just wherever it is, you got to hit it.
It's almost like a sport in that if you are fearful, then you're showing a weakness, and you almost have to go harder. It's like boxing or something.
Look at you with these sports metaphors.
Look, I'm trying to fit in
Who
here,
are
guys.
You, Whitney
I'm really
Cummings?
trying.
I mean, you're doing a great job.
I feel like I do have some perspective to offer you guys because I don't know a ton about sports, but I have dated guys that love sports and a couple athletes, so I've seen it from that perspective.
And that is a perfect way to take a commercial break.
Oh, you got to come back for these.
Because we talk about it, you know, that's called a tease.
Tease.
Right there.
I'm a tease also.
Whitney Cummings is here on the Rich Eisen Show. We are back in 1 minute time. I don't know why you would move or change the channel in any way, shape, or form. We are back with Whitney in a moment.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.